16 continents of these first games.
One interesting thing about the furry fandom is it started as a science fiction subculture where people are like into anthropomorphic fantasy and science fiction creatures.
This movie was kind of the Rocky Horror Picture Show of furry fandom.
Presented by ZOO, the network that brings out the beast in sports.
I met Rodney in 1980, and together we put on parties at conventions which came to be known as furry parties. I'm very happy about the way things developed, and I love going to conventions.
I was more of like an anime nerd, like a geek that was like into video games and anime and whatnot. And my friend who was a furry went on to be stationed in the Army in Colorado. One day he invited me to come out to go to a furry convention, Rocky Mountain FurCon. That was my first ever furry convention, and that's where I met my first furry friends and realized that, oh my God, this is amazing.
There's a lot of crossover, you know? We see furries at anime cons all the time, but the overwhelming image of furries at the time was that it's very, very much like a bunch of sexual freaks, right? And no, I wasn't judging of that at all. Lo and behold, Midwest Fur Fest was like a 40-minute drive from my parents' house. It's a spectacle, right? It was a spectacle, and I was sightseeing. But I realized that I'm much more comfortable, and the people that are here are much more courteous than anybody I had met or interacted with at an anime convention.
We just discovered the magic of furry hugs.
Hugs? Yeah!
My actual formal induction was when I made a DeviantArt account in 2004. I do animation and design. I'm working on Hell of a Boss. I have done backgrounds, cleanup animation, and now I'm doing character and prop design. It's one of those things where you're working on it and then you press play and you see it in motion and it just kind of like, it's real, it's tangible.
Give me a real challenge!
Oh yeah.
Y'all have so much fun, you party, y'all are so free and kind and wonderful and amazingly queer. It wasn't so much a light bulb moment or anything like, oh my God, this is a part of me that I was missing. It was just like, this is a wonderful addition and I would love to get more into it. And it just fell into place after that. You might have heard of Adventure Crew. It's a little group of furries in the fandom that have been known for rambunctious parties at cons. I am the founder of Adventure Crew. We go on adventures, we smoke a little bit of, and just have fun getting into stuff and exploring our local surroundings. And so that's how it originally started.
Don't do that. I want to watch the Skrillex. He's gonna just fly right in your face.
I remember walking to a restaurant in downtown San Jose for FC, and our friends found a bumblebee dying on the sidewalk.
The last moments. Let's get him drunk! I'm just kidding.
We started calling him Beezy. We took him around for like the rest of the day and then we deposited him in a bush. But for that day, you know, we're partying in spirit of this poor bee which lost its stinger.
Wait, what's his name? Beezy.
And then they just ran with it and turned it into like basically our mascot.
The lore of Beezy continues to grow every year.
We all went to the tattoo shop and got it put down.
And voila!
So sometimes when we all hang out, we're just like, we're just showing all, you know, some are on ankles, mine's on my hand.
So I was like blasting music on my phone and like just like listening and like going hard. And then the artist like suddenly looked at me and was like, stop moving, like really firmly. So yeah, it's a little messed up, but it's part of the, I got a story now.
It's funny, I was crossing the border once and I got pulled in because the customs person thought I was in a gang or I got in prison. Yeah, I was like, what's that? What gang is that from? You got that in prison? And I was like,
This is one of those FurCon wish you were here moments.
And I explained, like, no, it's a group of friends. A group of friends, huh?
It looks like you're offering an Eye of Sauron.
Eventually, we got more and more people in. It became bigger than what I ever anticipated it to be. And we absorbed people from SoCal, and then people from the Midwest and East Coast and Canada and Europe and Australia. It got really big really fast.
Our group was so like deregulated, decentralized, that we go to a convention and someone would mention like, oh yeah, you know, I'm with the Adventure Crew people. And it's like, I was with the Adventure Crew people, but I didn't know who the fuck they were, you know? Which isn't to say that like they were lying or anything, like, you know, like I said, decentralized. So they very well could have been.
I guess I talked a bit of history over this. Yeah, in 2009, I came here and I was abandoned by a partner at a room party. There's a couple people there at the party who noticed I was abandoned and alone because my friend and, you know, their friends decided to dip on me. And they're like, let's go to the party floor. And didn't know what that was. It was my first time at FC. I came down for that partner who abandoned me. It's the first time I saw anything like it.
The party scene in the fandom, I think, is very unique.
What other hotel can you think of that will do this? It is chaos in the best way.
It's not the type of chaos that makes you feel left behind. It's the type of chaos where you feel part of the chaos itself.
Every other room, the door was wide open and there was like some theme. There's some group of people who are doing something different and spectacular. At that time in my life, I was still living a very sheltered, alienated, rural Canadian, you know, student life. I remember that I wanted to do something like that. I finally scrounged up enough money to get, you know, my own hotel room and throw the first ever Adventure Crew room party. The theme that year was Beezy's birthday. So we had like little like dollar store like bee decorations up.
It usually has a tail like this.
A few of us were DJs. We'd done like main stage things like Chomper. That was like a dream come true at that point. You know, from that 2009 memory of like I want to do like a party floor thing with all these other like people. And
Communist Party, closed. Klingon Party, closed. Adventure Room Party, still popping.
Every year at FC, we throw an Adventure Room Party. We did a volleyball tournament one year. Like we had t-shirts made up, we had like 2 teams, and we played volleyball in like the balcony area of the hotel room that we're in.
I would just like to thank my team for bringing me to victory, because I might have already been drunk by the time I got here.
in 2020, the last FC, we did the horses theme.
Take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't.
The theme was just horses.
Horse, 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 horse.
One horse, 4 drivers.
To the right, to the right.
Our reputation is we're just loud, annoying party people. Granted, we are, but there's other machinations or things at play behind that. Reasons. We're all gay and trans, and it's not a space for us There's a lot of like that loud, trashy party thing elsewhere, but it's just decisively not for, you know, us. All the people rooming in the party room right now are trans women. We're the ones who get everything started and everyone else comes through, and people may not necessarily know that.
It's kind of wild to think about because, I mean, I remember meeting y'all in a different way when I was a dude.
Yeah.
Bro.
I would like work out, I deadlift and shit, and like being drunk on my snap back and like cool hair and like my tight t-shirt.
Same.
And I'd get extremely fucking drunk and I'd be like, when I was younger, I used to want to be a girl. And people would be like, whoa, okay. And then, you know, in like blackout, you know, drunk territory. But like people would remember that and like I'd say that and other people would, it's very fucking funny.
Just trying to come out. Like, you're just like...
Kind of. It's like just for some reason, like, oh, this thought keeps popping in my head. I guess it's kind of funny. It's a good bit. It's a funny story how that used to be a thing. Yeah. I think just being around and spending time with, you know, queer people or, yeah, indeed, trans people, you kind of do, it's that realization you eventually come to, which is, I can just do that. I can just be that.
All of you together are free, powerful, and absolutely unstoppable, so let's celebrate that tonight.
So the theme for this year is super funny. It is Rainfurrest 2016. It is going to look like Rainfurrest never ended.
It's just like the spectacle of like throwing a convention within a room party. But specifically, it's a very controversial and funny one. It's very crazy. It feels a lot bigger, a lot crazier in 3 hours. Earlier, we had to like move everything off the floor and into the washrooms. It's kind of unusual now. Finally, instead of having coming through and having people having to upload their tracks or whatever, we can just plug in a thumb drive and just get going. And then when the thing opens up, I'm gonna start giving people their Rainfurrest 2016 badges.
Can I see that again?
Yeah.
Here we go.
So we have the Legacy Green Rainfurrest, the special super sponsor, and the only difference is like they're spelled incorrectly in different ways. Rainfurrest died. We were blamed for it because we would do bullshit at Rainfurrest for the most part. Like we do things called Dipset, where we just had all this alcohol on Sundays and we just want to get rid of it. So we set up a fucking table at Rainfurrest and we were just giving away liquor. And then we just had a decentralized party in the middle of the courtyard and we got kicked out of the hotel. So we roamed around. We're just drinking, hanging out, and anyway, so I do miss Rainfurrest. I was there at that last year. That was the first witch set. Our friend James had like a giant Pabst beer thing as like a Pope hat, leading this procession of druids. And then we started doing this great big sigil, and we're like around it, we're like all these like drunk weirdos like pretending to do like, you know, this big cult sort of thing. And we brought out the big Beezy effigy and we sacrificed the Beezy over the sigil. That was the last thing which ever happened at Rainfurrest. And forever we're like, we cursed the con. It died because we did this ritual.
Pray in the name of the spirit of Beezy! Pray in the name of the spirit of Beezy! Pray in the name of the spirit of Beezy!
And we're all hanging out over the ritual site we did for Witch Set in 2020. And then, almost like the curse came back, 2-3 weeks later, the pandemic started. And then FC was canceled. We couldn't do the 2021 Rainfurrest party. We're playing with fire.
Where's the Bible?
The Bible?
We can use the Bible for something.
Oh yeah. They get the Mormon Bible up there.
Yeah, this is our tradition. Look up there. But I'm using the Bible to support the projector. So yeah, like it's very DIY. Like that's why I love this party, because like we get what we can. You know, we use what we have.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then house DJs. Because we usually like to bring in like a non-furry DJ and be like, we're gonna, part of the ship, part of the crew, we're gonna drag you into this party and you're gonna have a good time.
So this is like a club system. It doesn't even belong in our hotel room. Like I think it's just like we've gotten to the point where like we're so overboard that honestly it's just a theme here.
Putting on these events requires a lot of financial resources, which we didn't always have a lot of in the beginning. It's not easy and it's not cheap. Ballpark estimate, I'm guessing like anywhere from 5 to 10 grand. I know. First, you got to get the hotel room. That's not a pretty penny. And if you're trying to dedicate that as just a room for the party, you're spending all this money in a room you're not even staying in. And then you have to consider the audio and visual equipment, the swag, you're adding the alcohol, you're adding the materials that we're using to decorate. It could not happen without the help of volunteers coming in and being like, we want to help be a part of this, we want to help make it happen, what can we do? And we're beyond grateful for all of that help.
I'd say that we're sort of a group of architects. I know that sounds like really esoteric and corny, but like we're not a company, right? Like we don't make money on this, we lose money in fact. It's more akin to like witchcraft. Where we take this very conceptual idea and sort of channel and manifest it into a physical space.
This is so heterosexual. The biggest analogy I can think of is like, it's like a frat, like a college frat. I didn't go to a typical university with like a fraternity and all that stuff. So this was the replacement for it.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
I'm sure we've gotten into trouble more than once, but
I feel like half the party floor rules it for the party floor is just specifically because we did something and they learned something they didn't like. Like we used to put the speakers outside on the balcony and play music there, and we got noise complaints from the Hilton while having the party in the Marriott like a block away. So when the rule for the party floor rules, you can't have music out in the balconies anymore.
3, 2, let go! Oh fuck! Tamagotchis, bitch! Fuck Tamagotchis, bitch! Fuck Tamagotchis!
This all started as like a little ragtag crew of people just hanging out and roaming around places, and it's become this thing that like at times I don't recognize, but more times I'm just like, I'm proud. And a little bit in the back of my mind like, I helped start that.
Oh, it's quiet!
It wasn't until I joined the fandom that I started exploring my world. and was able to go to parties, go travel to places I had never been to, and really have a community of like-minded people that I don't think I would have found outside the fandom.
If someone pushed a button and furry cons were over, if parties were over, right? All the things that we've been doing, if we couldn't do them anymore, I think we'd still hang out. So I think at its core, that hasn't changed very much.
It's insane to think about doing this thing for us and then discovering how much this thing we have done has meant for all sorts of people who aren't even in the crew. In pursuit of creating this space to celebrate us and like being together, we've created a space for everyone else. Anyway, so we're recreating that 2015 Rainfurrest Druidic ritual again. Hopefully, FC won't be canceled because of it. I need to knock on wood.